Hi friends, welcome to the class. So, in the last lecture of our course in business to business marketing, we are talking about pricing, how pricing affects business markets and all markets in fact, but especially the business to business markets. The role of pricing is very significant, we have seen, because the kind of impact that it makes on the profitability, right. And in the last lecture, we discussed about what are the what is value based pricing and why value based pricing is very important from a customer point of view, from a seller point of view. And if firms can understand value based pricing well, they can increase their profitability significantly without hampering their sales. Okay. Today we will continue from there and we will first talk about product mix pricing strategies. Now, what is product mix pricing strategy? So, when you talk about you know when you talk about a products, right. So, any product has different kinds of combinations, different kind of options, right. For example, a product may have a core product and then you can have a some kind of auxiliary services and all attached to a product, right. Now, when you talk about product mix, how does product mix affect the pricing decisions, right? And this is especially important in case of large products, capital intensive products or high value products. Okay. So, the firm looks for a set of prices that maximizes the profits on the total product mix, right. So, how can the firm maximize its profit? That is its biggest concern. So, to do this, the company can adopt several kinds of pricing situations that is involved with its product mix, right. So, the first one, for example, it talks about the product line pricing. Now, we know that every company has several products, right. So, there are different brands, different lines of products, and in each line again there are subdivisions. For example, we talk about the width of the product, the length of the product line, and the kind of depth of the product line. Now, how does a company, how does a marketer, right, price its products according to the product line? So, if you see, for example, some products in the product line might be kept free, or sometimes the companies, in order to attract the customers, they keep it very low priced, right, and then they keep some other variants of the product mix, a product line at a much higher price. For example, if you go to softwares like SaaS, or let us say Grammarly, or let us say you are trying to buy any software for that, right, you will see that there are certain versions, right, a beginners level, then advanced, and higher versions and all. So, where the pricing is different, right. So, this in the product, same product line, for a different kind of product, the manufacturer keeps a different price, right. Similarly, we have optional product pricing, where the optional or accessory products, the marketer says that some products, in fact many, almost all automobile manufacturers use this pricing strategy, where they try to keep some products optional. Now, that is according to the wish of the customer, whether he wants it or not, right. So, for example, in a computer you might want a change in the, you might want to customize the computer. So, while due to customization, the product cost may come up or may go down, right. So, depending on what you want to add or what you do not want in the main product, right. So, optional product pricing is a very important pricing strategy, because that helps in keeping flexibility for the customer to buy a product, right. So, the customer is not bound to pay a higher price, because he can go for a little less feature and go for a lower price. Okay. Similarly, captive product pricing is something where the companies, for example, printers, for example, I have given this example. Now, if you want to buy a printer, the complementary product is the cartridge, right. So, companies can use the captive product pricing by for increasing the profitability, because they know that these are the complementary items which the customer will tend to buy in future. So, or if they can balance out the price, maybe by reducing in one and gaining the profit in the complementary, the other product, right. The next thing is byproduct. Now, byproducts are basically those products which come as an outcome, as a result of some process, right. For example, in the oil exploration, right, for example, you have petrol, diesel, then as you go on in the exploration process or the in the filtration process, then you get certain different kinds of raw materials and ultimately you get wax and all. So, byproduct pricing, or example I have given here is sugarcane industry. The sugarcane is the main product. Then you at the end you get molasses and all, right, which are used for certain ethanol manufacturing, or or the husk which is used for some other purpose. Now, byproducts are those items which are generally considered to be the not the main product, but it is a waste product, or it is a leftover, you can say leftover. So, now these products also have certain value. Now, companies understand that instead of taking the selling the main product at a higher price, it is better to sell the main product at a considerably slightly lower price and get the and penetrate into the market, and the profit they can also derive it from the byproducts or the other products that are used, that generally are considered to be a waste for the company. Finally, the most important thing is product bundle. Now, what is product bundle? Now, bundle, as you know, right, is a combination of a few things, right. So, this is a combination, three things I have combined. So, this is a combination bundle. I want to add one more, so a bundle of four. Now, why I am saying a bundle? Because companies tend to attract customers to buy more by those product bundling strategies, right. So, if a company, let us say for example, I have given you value meals. Now, let us say somebody has gone to a restaurant to have a meal, right, and while eating he figures out that if he has to take a, let us say, a soft drink, cold drink with it, or some extra dessert or something, the price is going to be slightly higher and not much higher. If you look at the individual cold drink or individual let us say a dessert, the price is much higher, but if I take in a combined manner, the entire cost is only slightly increasing. So, by using this kind of techniques, marketers are trying to attract the customers to consume more and buy more of their products, right. So, this helps them to understand the forecasting, helps them to sell the product at much less marketing costs, right. So, this becomes a kind of profit maximization process for the companies. While we talk about B2B markets, it is very important to understand that one of the most important factors when you talk about pricing in B2B markets is the concept of bidding, right. Now, what is bidding basically? Bidding, which plays a very, as it said, it is a very significant role. Bidding is a process of participation in the competition, participating in a competition. So, we say it is a competitive bid, means many people would like to participate in the process to buy a particular thing or to get a particular project or get something, right. So, there is one seller, let us say, and there may be many buyers, right. So, buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3, and all these buyers would bid for this one product of the seller, right. So, obviously all will not get that. So, one who quotes at the highest price will get that, right. Similarly, the vice versa also is possible, that there is only one buyer and there are multiple sellers, that is also a possible, right. So, the seller which is selling at the lowest price will be selected by the buyer in that case. So, government and other public agencies buy almost exclusively through competitive bidding. Why? Just this is to make unbiased and a free and fair process. The government and other agencies, they try to go through this competitive bidding. You will usually see this process in road contracts, dam, bridge contracts, any kind of government projects, okay, almost all projects. So, in this process, rather than relying on a specific list price, the business marketers develop a price or a bid, right. A bid is a price to meet a customer's particular product or service requirement, right. So, bidding is basically participating with a price point. Now, basically there are two types of bidding, one is closed bidding and the other is open bidding. Now, closed bidding, as it is written here, it involves a formal invitation. Now, let us say the roads department wants to give a contract, for a 20-kilometer stretch, okay. So, what it does is, to make it fair, it asks for people to participate. So, the contractors come with a bidding into the bidding process, they give a price at which they would be able to do this project, right. So, this is given in a closed way, right, in a sealed bids, and these bids are opened on a particular date at a particular time where everyone is invited and it is opened in front of them, right. So, that there is clear transparency, right. So, and the one with the lowest cost is generally selected. So, all bids are opened and reviewed at the same time, and the contract is generally awarded to the lowest bidder who meets the desired specifications, right. But closed bidding has always will not always be successful, right, because certain situations might be there where the knowledge of the contractor, his experience also matters. Okay. The other kind of bidding is open or negotiated bidding. So, some things which cannot happen through the closed bidding, it is better to go for open bidding, and this is largely used by private companies and all. So, what happens here is it is a more informal and allows suppliers to make offers, right, up to a certain date, and the buyer may deliberate with several suppliers through the bidding process. So, what happens, there is a continuous discussion that is going on, and there can be a price change, right, in the process. Open bidding may be particularly appropriate when specific requirements are hard to define rigidly. Now, for example, how do you define quality rigidly? It is very difficult, right. So, certain services quality are something which are non tangible and they can be not be exactly checked, right. So, in such a condition, open bidding is very helpful, right. And in fact, most of the sites, for example, the government sites, for example, wherever there is an online facility available. So, nowadays most of the biddings are happening also online, right. So, for example, metaljunction.com, Metal Junction, where you find steel junction, metal junction, coal junction.com. So, where people tend to bid for a certain amount of contract of coal, steel or other metals or ores or something. So, here the bidding is kind of a negotiation process, and the firms are allowed to change their prices slightly, right, till a particular deadline or a time frame. Okay. Probabilistic bidding, one of the most commonly used strategies in competitive bidding. Now, what happens here? Two things. The pricing objective is profit maximization. The buying organization will decide the order on the lowest price bidder. But the point here is is it done? Let us see. So, the basic equation that is used is A is your bid price, right, A is your bid price, EA expected profit at bid price A, expected profit, PA probability of acceptance of the bid price. Now, what factors affect the bid? Now, the price of the bid, the probability of acceptance and the profit. Okay. TA is the profit if the bid price is accepted, the total profit if it is accepted. Now, a business marketer tries to seek an optimum trade off between the bid price or profit on one hand and the probability of winning the contract. So, this equation is a very important because expected profit, we are measuring the expected profit by multiplying with the probability of acceptance here and the total at a particular bid, the total profit. Okay. Let us take this problem which explains this. ProConnect is bidding for a government tender valued at 60 crore for the supply of underground cable connecting kits, jointing kits. 18 firms are expected to submit their bids, and the lowest bidders, as the value of the tender was large, are likely to get the orders, right. Okay, fine. The total cost is per unit of ProConnect is 350. The marketing manager's assessment on the possible bid prices and the probabilities is given below in the next slide. Let us see. So, this is the bid prices given, this is the total cost per unit, the probability of winning is given. Now, at a bid price of 450, the probability of winning is 0. At a bid price of 330, the lowest, the probability of winning is absolutely high or almost 1, right. Now, these are the different bid prices and these are the different probabilities of winning, the cost per unit is remaining the same. Okay. Now, if we look at it, So, 450, total cost 350, probability of winning 0, profit TA is equal to A minus C. Now, A 450 minus C 350. So, what is the total profit is 100, right, but expected profit will be how much, because it is multiplied with 0, which is probability of winning PA. So, PA is 0 into TA, which is 100. So, 0 into 100 0. Similarly, 440, this is probability of winning is 0.05, 90 is my expected my profit, right, at this bid price. So, the expected profit is now how much? Now 90 into 0.05, so 4.50. Okay. Now, as we go on calculating, and here we get some negative values, this in parenthesis or bracket it means negative values. Okay. We can see that at 400, when the bid price is 400, the total cost is 350, the probability of winning is 50%, the profit is 50, the expected profit is the maximum, right. So, the company can achieve a maximum profit at this point, right. But what are the limitations of probability bidding? For a business marketer, the most difficult task is to estimate the probability. How would you know the probability of acceptance of your bid, right? That is very difficult. The ability to estimate PA correctly depends on the marketer's knowledge of the competitor's cost, strength and weaknesses, etc. So, which is not so easy. And wrong estimation can lead to missed profit opportunities, sometimes losses also. So, if you have put in a wrong bid and your project is accepted and you are not able to complete it, then you will rather incur losses. Okay. So, this is a small caselet I have tried to bring in. This is a company, is a new startup, it is a real case, a startup called which is into a startup called Person8 AI, right. So, Person8 AI is a startup that was founded in 2021, and it allows companies to generate interactive video content, right, and bots. Now, you must be aware of bots, right, uh, human bots and all. When you go for a bank site or hospital site, so there is a bot which asks you certain questions, what are your requirements, what do you want and all. So, this is only done to reduce the human effort, right. So, without any within minutes, without any coding, in 50 plus languages, they can create bots that leads to cost savings for video production, time savings, increased user satisfaction, enhanced user engagement, increased lead generation. So, there are certain benefits that happens when somebody uses the services of this company, right. So, recently this company has got some customers in different parts of the world. For example, in in Finland, in India there are few companies. So, a lot of governmental, non-governmental companies are now coming into the foray. They are trying to utilize the service of this company because they want to reduce human effort and try to use as much as this service as possible. Companies can use Person8 services in explaining business offering to customer visually, right? Product walkthroughs, customer education, corporate training such as HR, onboarding and all, digital assistants, healthcare experts, multilingual coaches and interactive marketing and much more, right? So, there are some services which are some benefits that one can get if they use this service of this company. But now the question here comes is, how would the company price its product, right? What should be the pricing objective of the company? Now, this is a real company. You can visit this site also, Person8 AI, right, started by one of the IIT Roorkee alumni only, right. Which pricing method should be followed by the company? So, these are the two questions that are important. So, how would you answer these two questions? First, let us see what should be the pricing objective of the company. Since the company, I have tried to have my own view, you can also have your own view. Since the company is currently trying to penetrate the market, right, with a hybrid model of pricing for new B2B users, we provide a freemium plan, right, whereby anyone globally can sign up and create basic talkbot in 50 plus languages without paying even a dollar. At this time, this is this, I have taken this from this answer from the founder himself, who happens to be my former student. So, he has given this answer. As the customer progresses with the product, they need to adopt a premium paid plan and customer services. So as the product will be utilized by the company, they will gain, their profits will increase. They can also use more advanced product of this company, Person8 AI, right. What pricing method should be followed by the company? The pricing is based on the value proposition, right. So the idea is to provide value in several multiples of the price that the customer is paying. Early customers need not pay anything to try the product. So, that in order to bring the customer in, they are giving a very free service. So, free without any price and all. So, they can experiment, check and all. And once the customer sees the value in the product, they can start with a basic paid plan. Customers that need custom services can choose to adopt an enterprise pricing plan starting at $500 per month, right. And already they have got large number of, they are expanding very fast, they are getting many clients, so across the world also, under which they get premium features and dedicated service from the team, right, thereby saving time and cost at their end. So the pricing for such a product is not so easy, because it is a service based product. Sometimes, even the founder may be underpricing himself. I feel sometimes you could have increased the price, but then it's, depends on what business objective he has got. So I always, leave it onto the founder to decide what pricing they would like to keep. But this is what, their idea is, right. So you may have a different opinion whether they are doing right, wrong, and you can suggest also. So with this, I think I'll wind up today's lecture, and this is all for the day, and I'll meet you in the next lecture in the next class. So till then, take care and thank you very much.